Hi Sagittarius, so today I'm going to be doing a general love reading. These are general, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you would like to book a personal, the information will be in my description box below. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for still being here. It's been months where I just leave and I go hiatus and then I come back. But I appreciate you guys for always coming back and supporting the channel and loving me. And I really appreciate you guys so much. So if you haven't already checked out my last video, go check that out now. We're gonna get straight into your message to see who's coming towards you guys when it comes to love and what y'all need to know. So let's get straight into it. Spirit guides, who's coming towards Sagittarius when it comes to love? Somebody could be thinking about coming towards you. Maybe even thinking, they may even think you've moved on. They could think you're over a situation. They could be thinking about how to get over a situation. This could even be friends, family, whoever it is. Let's see who's coming towards Sagittarius. It's like, I feel like you're finally going towards an ending where you're letting go of the past, or you're letting go of the pain. You're letting go of victim mentality. You're letting go of trauma. You're letting go of all these negative thoughts or ideas. You're letting go of these exes or these past relationships. You're just not allowing these things to pull you in a circle anymore that you're trying so hard to heal from. I feel, if you guys hear any noise, please excuse the noise. You're in a position where you're no longer trying to control things that's not in your control anymore. You're moving forward and you're learning how to do things differently. If you guys are so used to thinking negative or playing the victim, or maybe you always chose situations that were detrimental to your mental health, I feel like you're now overcoming those obstacles. You're learning how to think positive. You're being optimistic about your life here. But there could also be somebody in your energy who things just were not going the way that you wanted them to. It could have been like this was somebody who they were a player, or this person just had other things they had going on there. It just wasn't the right time. So if there is someone coming towards you, this could be somebody who you're kind of moving on from, or you're letting go of, or you're not trying to stress or worry too much about the situation. You're healing from the situation. And even if it's not in your control, or maybe you and this person weren't in a relationship or things like that, I do feel like there is someone who wants to like come back. They either want to come back, or they don't want something to be over. Even if you think it's over, even if you're moving forward, even if you're embracing the new beginnings, or you're moving forward in your life, somebody does not want things to be over. They think it's completely over and it's unrepairable, but there is someone who does not want things to be over. And I feel like they're trying not to think the worst. They're trying not to be pessimistic. They're even trying to be optimistic about the situation. I'm also getting this energy of like, if they don't want things to end, they don't want things to end on a bad note with the Ten of Swords in a reverse. They don't want you to think of them badly. They don't want you to have this victim mentality. They just want to end things on a good note. Like, this is somebody that wouldn't mind being friends with you, wouldn't mind rebuilding the connection with you, wouldn't mind starting over with you, wouldn't mind having a conversation with you. Yeah, I feel like this is somebody that they don't want to just end things with you on a bad note. With the Ten of Swords in the reverse. Why is the Ten of Swords in the reverse? And I feel like you've been deceived so much in your life. You've been lied to. You've been disrespected, bad mouth. You've been played, cheated on. All of these things. And you know how to let go of those things. You know how to remove, you know how to heal and move on from them. You do. But there is a situation where it's like you're moving forward. You're getting over the situation. You've received a lot of messages about the situation. And you're just ready for new in your life. You just feel like you've been through so much. The rock bottom. You could have lost jobs, friendships, all of those things. And now you're just in a mindset of wanting to regain what's lost. Like learning to move on. Learning to release what's not in your control. Learning not to think so pessimistic about your life. Just learning how to embrace the unknown. Even if it feels like it's the end of the world, it's not the end of the world, and it's nothing you can't overcome. So there's somebody over here in your energy who doesn't want to end things with you on a bad note, or they don't want things to be over at all. They may even think that there's unfinished business, or there's just like something here that they're not ready to accept or let go of. Yeah. See, look at this Temperance here. I feel like I said, you guys are healing. You're in alignment with yourselves. You're learning to accept yourself as you are. You're going with the flow. You're not stressing anymore, but you're also protecting your feelings. You know that you're very loyal. You're very compassionate. You're very open. And there could have been situations in your life where you were very self-centered at times, or there was times where you just didn't really have all the answers. There was times where you just felt like some things came into your life, and it also taught you some very valuable lessons as well. You've learned a lot of valuable lessons from others as well. So it's like you're learning how to really balance, and you're learning how to control your emotions, learning how to control your thoughts. Sagittarius with the Ten of Swords in reverse. Sometimes it's all about somebody being a drama queen. Like, what you're going through is painful and you have a valid reason to feel that way, but sometimes you could overdo it. And with the Temperance being here, you got to learn how to pick and choose your battles. Not everything is a call for you to overthink. Not everything is a call for you to just be so quick to move on from people. Sometimes you can repair situations. Not everything is the end of the world, Sagittarius. Sometimes you just have to learn to heal. You have to think positive. You got to think that other people that hurt you, they're also going through trauma, or they've also been betrayed, and they're healing. They're doing what works best for them. And sometimes what works best for them is not what works best for you. And you don't have to sit there and deal with these type of energies. And you could sit there and pick and choose who you get involved with, and you don't want drama in your life, but you also need to learn to heal from the things you don't talk about, to heal from the things you don't think about, heal from the things or the pain that you've caused others, because it comes back to you. Sagittarius with the Ten of Swords being stabbed in your back, you could have done something to somebody that hurt them, and it came back to you. And then you think about how you were just the one being hurt, but think about how your actions can affect others, how your thoughts can affect others. You have to learn how to truly be in control of your feelings and learn to think before you act. Not everything needs to be rushed. Not everything needs to be released. Sometimes you just have to sit back and sit with yourself, and sometimes you just have to sit with those thoughts. Yeah, sit with that trauma, sit with them fears, the insecurities, and all those things. You have to sit there and think about all the times that you were overly guarded, the times that you were angry, the times that you were defensive and you didn't have control of yourself, Sagittarius. Okay, so you got to be patient with yourself. That's what this message is. You have to be patient with yourself. Like, the worst is over. Everything does not have to end on a bad note. Everything does not have to end sometimes. Sometimes you can fix a situation and align it. You just have to be patient. You have to understand that you have to put one foot forward. You have to learn how to be compassionate. You have to learn how to be understanding of other people. Sometimes we just think trauma responses. No, you have to truly figure out how to heal and allow your trauma to not overpower you, but allow your trauma to be within you. You have to learn how to heal with your trauma, because your trauma is a part of who you are. It makes you who you are. And you have to understand, regardless, you are a healer. So there's so much that you've overcame. There's so much that you know that you can get over. So much that some others wouldn't even be able to get over. That's why you are a healer. That's why you are in alignment. That's why you are balanced. That's why you are a Sag, because you know how to manage tough situations, Sagittarius. You know how to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and you know how to overcome them. And this message right now is letting you know that you are a healer and you've overcome so much. So when you're dealing with others, they're overcoming painful situations. And Sagittarius, they don't have the strength like you. Some of these people don't have the strength like you. They don't have the strength to just move on and to overcome all the things that they've been through. They don't have the strength to just sit with themselves and acknowledge when they were in the wrong. They don't have that. You know, they allow their fears to get them, but you don't. You're fully aware of yourself. You're fully aware of your actions. You're fully aware that sometimes you have to sit with that trauma. You do. You have to sit with that trauma, and you have to think positive, and you have to learn how to move on and live with the trauma. Learn to not let the past affect your future, okay, when it comes to your love life, because you're going to have very healing experiences in your life. You're going to have people here who are sent to come in and heal you in some way, but you can't be so quick to give up. You have been independent. You've been on your own for a long time, so you know the first thing you're going to do is choose yourself, but sometimes you have to understand how your actions can affect others. Sometimes others want to heal. Sometimes others want to communicate. Sometimes others want to acknowledge their dark side, their shadow side. Sag, you have this balance to where you can heal people's positive aspects and negative aspects. You know how to deal with all different types of peoples on the field because in your heart you knew you were meant to heal. You got to still be that compassionate person you always was. Even when you're still healing, you also healing others in a process. At the end of the day, somebody was guided towards you to teach you how to love and value yourself, to teach you how to let go of the past, to teach you how to learn to embrace others and to give and extend that love to others. You've learned so much in your recent situation, okay? You've learned so much, and I feel like you have so much of you wants to protect your emotions. So much of you just want to let go of situations, but you have some unfinished business with somebody and they've been thinking about approaching you. They've been thinking about coming towards you because you're healing to this person, because you're compassionate, because you're loving, because they don't want to think about the past. They want to move towards the future. This is somebody that wants to be with you. And I feel like right now you could even be in no contact or you're taking a break from this person and you're learning how to gain control over your emotions. Sagittarius, is a major emphasis on gaining control over your emotions and learning how to balance out your emotions, learning to trust what you feel, learning to follow your heart, learning to go with your intuition, go with your gut feeling. You don't have to think the worst about everything. You don't. With the Ten of Swords, you do not have to think the worst. You can let go of the worst. The past has happened. Now it's time for you to focus on the present moment now and figure out how you can use these emotions to plan your life, to move forward, to go after what you truly desire, because you're in the right spot. You're doing exactly what you need to do and everything is happening the way it's supposed to happen. But I definitely see you have someone who's thinking about you and they're thinking about approaching you. They don't want things to be over, or they don't want to end things on a bad note. This is somebody that truly values your friendship. They value your loyalty. They value your compassion. They value your understanding. They value the fact that you don't judge. But at the same time, you got to stop thinking everybody is out to get you. Because what if you've done things to hurt other people and you aren't clear about that because you're so focused on you and what you've lacked that you're not paying attention to other people's feelings. Sag, I can definitely relate to this message as well. Not being able to acknowledge when you're in the wrong. We're so quick to judge somebody or blame somebody for what they've done to us. But what about all the times you avoided acknowledging somebody, or you avoided someone because you didn't want conflict, not realizing that conflict can build up and create resentment? You sweeping so much under the rug instead of setting boundaries or fighting for others, or just choosing to be defensive and blocking people and just moving on. No, Sag, you got to learn how to handle your problems. It feels like we just so quick to run away from our problems. We don't sit with them and really acknowledge what we could have done. You got to learn how to check yourself. You have to learn how to check yourself, Sagittarius. When it comes to love, you got to learn how to check yourself. You got to learn to acknowledge when you were in the wrong, when you allowed your baggage to cause you to shut down emotionally and it caused your judgment to be off. Sometimes when we're so focused on other things and we forget to prioritize ourselves, we start neglecting ourselves. So that means we're not listening to our intuition. So that means we're not connecting with ourselves, and we're connecting with our insecurities, our doubts, and our negative mindset. So you have to learn how to let go of that pessimistic mindset and start learning how to trust and listen to your inner voice. Learning how to trust and listen to your intuition. There is so much in your life that you could have avoided, or you could have released, or you could have healed from if you listen to your heart, your mind, your body. Okay? So you have to learn how to heal. And you have to learn how to be strong. It is so easy to give up. It's so easy to give up. But it's never easy to fight and keep going, to fight for friendships, to fight for people that care and value you. It's so easy to give up, Sag. But what about holding on? What about holding on? Somebody doesn't want things to end with you. They really don't. They were hoping you guys could, they were thinking in their mindset with the Six of Swords being here, they were hoping that they could overcome things with you and maybe even just take a break from you and, you know, just get themselves together. This is not somebody that wants things to be over. Friends, family, whoever this is. They just want you to take a step back and acknowledge when you're in the wrong. Acknowledge when you can be more compassionate. Acknowledge when you can be more open. Acknowledge when you can be more honest. When you can be more straightforward. Okay? Instead of moving forward, there's a lot of people in your energy that just want you to heal. They just want you to become better. They just want you to figure out ways on how you can fix things. They just want you to compromise and be accommodating. They just want you to show them that you care. You know, they just want you to open up, Sagittarius. There's some people that want you to open up, and they know they can't force you to do what you don't want to do because you're set in your ways. But you got to stop protecting your feelings, because who are you protecting them from? Yourself? You got to learn how to be open. You got to learn how to be vulnerable. You have to learn how to be compassionate with other people. There are some people who don't approach you because they feel like you're just so quick to let them go. You're so quick to think negative. You're so quick to move on. You're so quick to just detach yourself from these people. And they don't like that. They actually wish that you wouldn't be so impulsive and you would just sit there and think about how your feelings could affect your actions could affect someone else. Okay, so this message is about you thinking before you act, checking yourself first before you wreck yourself. All right, so you gotta heal, because there's things in your energy that you're still healing from, that you still have not let go of. But you gotta face yourself. That means facing your shadow side, facing your negative thoughts, facing those negative patterns you got, and you gotta learn how to let them go. Okay, even if you don't know where to start, even if you don't think that your words hurt people, or you don't think your actions are hurting others, that's when you got to sit back and check yourself, Sag. Okay, we could be very intense at times. Everything does not require an ending. Okay, some people just want you to figure out ways on how you can overcome and how you can heal the situation. Emphasis on Ten of Swords in a reverse, Six of Wands. Those are two healing cards. With the, Six of Swords. With the Four of Swords being here, it's not here, but it's missing somewhere. It means that somebody doesn't think that you should always just run from your problems. Don't just run away from them. They want you to acknowledge them. Okay, you're not the only one who's been hurt. There's other people that's been hurt. It's not just about you, Sag. You got to learn how to consider and take other people's feelings into consideration. Okay? Yes. Yes. You have to learn how to take other people's feelings into consideration. You have to learn how to check yourself. And you have to learn to understand that your actions can cause a reaction. So if somebody's doing something to you you don't like, ask yourself what you've done to this person to make them feel that way. Because sometimes your impulsive behaviors can really hurt other people. It can really hurt other people. You don't realize you're doing it, but you're unpredictable, Sag. You're very unpredictable. And I'm not even saying it's not me, because I could definitely feel this energy as well. It's definitely a message in here for me as well. But you're very unpredictable. Take a step back and figure out how your actions play a role in certain situations in your life, okay? Okay? You can't allow your insecurities and your anger and your lack of control get to you, because there's some people here who, they truly fight for you. They show up for you even when they don't want to. Even when they don't want to, even when they have other things going on in their life, they still show up for you. But these people feel like you don't show up for them. Even when you're thinking you're doing even when you think you're doing what's best for you, sometimes it's not best for the other person at hand. And if you claim you really love someone, you're not going to shut down, and you're not going to stop giving them that love you say you love them. Even when they hurt you, you're still going to be that healing person, that compassionate person. You never change who you are, Sagittarius. Even when some things aren't in your control, you still find a way to make it right, make it better, because that's just who you are, Sag. You're loving, you're compassionate, you're healing. All right, so everything doesn't have to be an ending. Everything doesn't have to be you overthinking. Everything doesn't have to be you shutting down or avoiding the situation. Everything doesn't have to be you going ghost and detaching. Some people just want you to talk and compromise. They just want you to show that you care. Okay? Some people know they can't control you, but they just want you to show that you care, that you love them, that you value them. That's what they want. So next time you decide, think before you act. Think about how your actions could affect someone else. And anything you do, just check yourself before you wreck yourself. And if I would have known this, like, without the trauma, if I could just heal my trauma without allowing myself to hurt others in the process, I would. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. Let me tell y'all something. This message ain't just for me. Okay, I'm a Sag too, but it's not just for me. This is for you guys as well, okay? And that's what I'm learning a lot. I just had a conversation with my best friend, and A lot of the things that I've done to her without even realizing that I was doing these things, I was realizing it, but I couldn't fix it. Or maybe I was just blaming other people or projecting my insecurities on other people. I didn't realize how much I was hurting her. She started shutting down. She started shutting down, and I'm so self-centered, so focused on me that I didn't realize how I was hurting other people. I've been learning lessons in my life currently in this year. And I'm thinking I'm healing others and I'm helping others, and I am not. I don't want to be considered this bad person, because we all make decisions we're not proud of. But at the end of the day, we got to realize how our actions affect other people. So you got to think and check yourself. Take accountability for what you've done first before you point the finger at anyone. Because there is something you've done to someone that has caused the reaction. You got to understand, some people do what you do to them. So if you're not making someone feel appreciated, if you're not valuing somebody, if you just shut down, then that person is going to just shut down and they're going to stop valuing you. You got to learn how to be vulnerable, compassionate. You got to learn how to open up to others. You've been there for yourself. You have done so much for yourself, but you have to learn how to also be there for other people. Some people shut down, they get upset, they get angry because they feel like you don't appreciate them, you don't value them. And it could be the trauma. Focus so much on your trauma responses that you're not actually in the present moment to feel those emotions with other people. You got to sit there and think about it. You got to be more vulnerable, be more open, Sag, because I do feel like there's somebody in your energy here who they feel left out of your life. They want to talk to you. They feel isolated. They feel ghosted. They feel like you've abandoned them in some way, and they truly want to talk to you. This person's going through a lot right now, and you could be also going through a lot right now. But at the end of the day, if this person has showed up for you even when you were going through a lot, you can share the same favor. You can reciprocate the same energy. Never stop being who you are. Never stop being who you are. That is a lesson I had to learn. You cannot change who you are. You always got to be that compassionate person. When somebody's hurt, you're always the one. Are you okay? What can I do for you? But you in this energy of like, nobody's helping me. Nobody's healing me. So why should I heal others? No. You got to check yourself. No. You've been a little too cutthroat, and we got to stop being so cutthroat. We got to learn when to pick and choose our battles. When somebody deserves tough love and when somebody deserves compassion. All right, so it's time for you to truly balance out your emotions. Not everything requires an ending. You need to really address your insecurities, your trauma, your jealousy issues. Like, really acknowledge that. Be gentle with yourself as well, Sag. Be gentle with yourself, but also be open. And don't be so impulsive. Don't be so quick to run away from sadness, disappointment, hardships. Don't be so quick to run away from conflict. Address the conflict so that you can make it right, or at least do your part and apologize or take accountability for the roles you've played in a situation, okay? So, Sag, be more open, be more understanding, and try to react with compassion, okay? You're finding yourself. You don't got to judge yourself and you don't got to blame yourself, but you do have to take the time to figure out when you could have been more accommodating, more understanding, and more open emotionally for other people. Because I'm telling you right now, there is so many people in your energy who do not want things to be over with. They're actually disappointed. They actually want to talk to you. They do. But I feel like this person just feels like you're very cold or very detached, or you're just not going to be open. Okay? Some people have this judgment or this view of you, and you got to let go of that view of you so you can continue being the person you were before you were hurt, before you were traumatized. You got to stop using your trauma. Okay, you got to stop using your trauma. There are so many people that just want you to acknowledge when they respect you, when they care about you, when they just want to do the right thing. And they just want you to be open. There are some people in your life who, yes, they have did you wrong. And you have every right to not be around these people. But there's so many people that just want you to acknowledge when you are in the wrong. When you could have made better decisions, when you could have been more understanding or more open, okay? So, Sag, let's see, what advice do we have for you? You got to learn how to be in control of your emotions and learn when to heal and address the issue and not avoid it and not run from it, okay? So, what advice do you have for Sagittarius? Don't run, because not everything requires an ending, Sagittarius. Not everything requires an ending. You got to stop being so self-absorbed. Stop thinking nothing. Stop thinking so pessimistic. Okay, so what if it does work out? What if you do get that job? What if it does? Stop shutting down. You shut down and you become so self-absorbed. You become so detached. You become so stubborn. It's like only your emotions matter. You don't really think about how anybody else would feel. So you got to stop shutting down emotionally. You don't know how to express yourself, then you have to sit with yourself and learn to acknowledge where these insecurities are coming from. Why do you feel like you're not going to be heard? Why do you feel like you're not going to be listened to? Why do you feel like they're not going to appreciate you? You can't just keep sitting here, Sag. Nobody can force you to do anything you want to do. Okay, but you got to sit here and think about how you've been shut down, how you've been closed off, how you haven't been compassionate, how you've been ignoring your intuition. Somebody does not want to let you go. They don't want to let you go at all. They don't. They don't. They just want you to be more open, more compassionate, more gentle. They just want you to acknowledge them. Show them that you care. That's what somebody wants you to do. They do. They really do. They want you to show that you care, because they see a lot of unhealthy traits in you as well. You could call other people out, but they feel like you don't see where you have some insecurities, or where you have some trust issues, or where you have some issues you got to work on. So for your advice, you need to start trusting what you feel and start communicating. You don't got to be so detached. It's okay to not know how to express yourself, but don't express yourself with anger. Try to be compassionate, because you're pushing a lot of people away by shutting down, by not caring, by not being open, by not expressing yourself. All right, so don't be afraid to be who you are. Sagittarius, be who you are. People want to see you for you. They want you to be yourself, not this person you were that you're becoming because of the pain you've been through. They want you to be yourself, or you're not afraid to be who you are. If you like to express yourself in so many different ways, express yourself. You don't got to shut down, and you don't have to sit here and portray to be something you're not for other people, to keep other people around. If somebody doesn't want to be in your energy, you let them go. But you never stop being yourself. Never stop being that charismatic person. Never stop being that outgoing person, that beautiful person, that life of the party. Never stop being you, Sag. You're learning to find yourself more and more every day, but at the same time, you also got to learn when to step back, when to give people space, when to take accountability for your actions, and don't project your insecurities or your fears onto other people, because that's exactly what you're doing right now. So now that you're checking yourself, you want to check yourself before you check anybody else. Okay, so Sag, it's time for you to learn how to think before you speak. It's time for you to learn how to be direct about yourself. Instead of shutting down, if you shut down, you're going to create more obstacles for yourself. You're going to confuse yourself, because you're not opening up. You're shutting down and you're isolating yourself. You need to open up and express how you feel. That's what you need to do. Okay? Or you're going to keep yourself in this mindset that you're never going to be able to overcome anything, or you're never going to be able to move on from anything. There's somebody that really cares about you. But I'm telling you right now, you're sabotaging. So I'll see you guys later.